Ready?
Go for it.
Okay, so I did my internship with Strong Memorial Hospital. This was my mentor, John. He looks a little kooky in this picture, but it's okay. Okay, so how did I find my mentor? I didn't want to do my internship anywhere else besides Strong. It was my ultimate goal. And so I contacted the head of the interpreting services. Her name is Elizabeth Ballard. And I was really, really annoying about everything. You know, I think I must have emailed her like at the beginning of the summer or something, like ridiculously early. I contacted her. And she didn't get back to me for a while, so I sent like 16 emails before she finally got back to me. And finally she got back and said, yeah, you could come in for an interview, you know. And so I got interviewed. We talked about like what medical interpreting would entail, how much I knew, and I met John. And my first impression was like, wow, he's really, really sarcastic, kind of, I don't even know how to like, I guess, like, I want to say asshole in the nicest way possible. Because he's great. He's a great guy, but he's like going to be really straightforward with everything that he says to you, which is exactly what I like. So I met him and he said that this is your internship. I'm going to come to work whether or not you're going to be there or not. So it's up to you to get your hours done, and if you don't want to come, that's on you. So I was super excited to get going. I had a gut feeling that I got accepted into it, but I didn't want to get my hopes too high, so I still looked around and looked in Syracuse and stuff like that. But I did eventually get accepted. And then the next step was, where am I going to be living? Because I was working 2 jobs on campus as well as doing my internship in Rochester. So I rented a room in this gigantic house. It worked out perfectly. It was a family friend just recently got this huge fixer-upper mansion. It was like, yeah, my son just moved out to college, we have a room for you. So it was like way too good to be true. It was a mile up the road from the hospital, so it was like way perfect how everything worked out. And it did, so it was awesome. Everything was going well. I got a total of 356 hours. I was never worried about completing my hours because I got right into doing everything instantly. I had 114 of 8 hours, and obviously there were good times and there were really, really, really horribly bad times too. So that was tough. The B, I got 126, which is like anything we talked about interpreting, which is like all day we go to one job, we come back to the office, we sit and we talk about it. Then we go to the next job, we come back to the office and we sit and talk about it. It was just, we were always talking about interpreting things, so there was just an abundance of B hours. And then observations, I got more than what I needed, but that's just because of it's just the hospital. Like sometimes I didn't want to interpret because it was a really intense appointment, so I didn't want to like mess anything up, you know, so I just let my mentors do it, and I just watched and saw how they would do it. Just because I didn't want to mess anything up just because I am a student learning still, like cancer appointments or something like that. Really sensitive, I guess, really sensitive topics. Yeah, so that was my hours. Okay, strengthen connection with the deaf community. I absolutely think that I am super on my way, not ready. I'm ready, but I'm not ready at the same time. Like I think about when I first started in the program, I was scared to go to deaf events because my language was so limited, you know, and I didn't know, I felt really anxious, like I could do it, but I still felt anxious about doing it. And now it's like conversations are no big deal, like I go to deaf events and I'm excited to engage in conversation and things like that, so that was just awesome to feel that now that I'm done. In the hospital, there's a lot of waiting time before and after appointments, or during even, like waiting for the doctors and stuff like that, so just sitting and talking, like again about like general knowledge stuff, like what's going on, who played yesterday's football game, whatever, you know, things like that. just to show that like you're there not just because you're like a robot put in to interpret, like you're a real person and you know, I don't know, like you care about them, you know what I mean? And I have become more of an advocate because I see a lot of things, even in the hospital in Rochester, is supposed to be like this great, you know, place for the deaf community, but there's still, I mean, it's in a hospital, and you still see people like, well, do we need an interpreter? Like, why are there 2 interpreters here? If we needed a CDI, like, why are there 4 interpreters here? You know, you just have to like constantly explain your role and do that kind of thing, and I've become more, I would get mad, I guess, be like, how do they not know still? But now it's just like, whatever, we're here, just, sometimes they need to be educated, and I've learned how to do that without getting frustrated at everybody else. So that's something I learned. Okay, so my hardest lessons was realizing that I really wasn't as ready as I thought. I felt like I was on top of the world in this program. I got great grades. I did, you know, my videos were great. I felt really confident with my interpreting skills. And then John threw me right into interpreting, and it was like, holy cow, maybe this isn't for me. It was just, I crashed and burned like the first couple of weeks. And then I had to learn how to accept the failure. You know, I guess it was just like my pride, I had to just let it go a little bit, which was tough for me because everything that I've done, I've been really good at. And to not be super confident with how I did after leaving a job with a real person. It wasn't like I was just interpreting for like my classmates or anything. It was like a real person I was interpreting for. That was really, really hard. But I mean, it kind of went away after like the first couple of weeks where it's like, it's not going to go well every time. And I guess I just learned how to muster it up and be able to talk about it afterward, talk about how I felt. And it was helpful with the people that I was working with. So. And then another thing is I knew what it felt like to be super duper broke. Like no money, like nothing at all. And even working on campus, it goes right into the gas tank, you know. And I had this whole mindset I was gonna, you know, buy all this food, pack a lunch every day. And there's just some days I didn't eat lunch because I had no money. It was just, I know what it's like to know that I never want to be broke again, so like the money will drive me, you know. So that's something that, yeah, I learned that. So, the best memories is strong as like golden memories. The people are amazing. Everybody, like the bonds are just, because I know interpreting is such a lonely, it could be such a lonely job. And these people, we go interpret and we come back to this office and they're like a big family. It's just awesome. It was just great to be able to just sit and chat with them as like friends and family, and I felt myself improving. I know that I'm a lot better than where I was because I know what it's like to be right on the bottom, like wanting to quit almost. It was just overall just an amazing experience. Strong was just the best thing that ever could have happened to me. I loved it. Yeah, it was great. And that's another interpreter that's a blank. She's moving to Buffalo, so I got her a blanket. I made her a blanket. Yeah, she's cute. So my advice would be find a mentor that you could be comfortable with. You will be spending a lot of time with them. I spend every waking moment with John, even at night. Like I did on-call stuff, so I was with him all day sometimes. And we have a relationship that's just, we can be sarcastic with each other. We can mess around with each other. I ripped my pants one day at work, and he told me that I should go on a diet. Like that's the kind of relationship we have, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just, he's great. Don't take feedback personally because it's only given to help you improve because they've all been there, they've all been students at one point. Like, they know what it's like. You're not perfect. And once you get thrown into your internship, you'll see that. And I said, you should start now. even if you like don't know exactly where you want to go, I would just go out and make as many contacts as you can, because you don't want to be like scrounging for places at the last minute, because they're not going to get back to you. They just won't. Like, why would they want to hire some or invite somebody in that's going to do everything at the last minute? You know what I mean? So get out there, do it now. Be optimistic. Life is good. Interpreting is fun. And yeah, the real world's kind of bad, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I just love what you do. Like, interpreting is my passion, and I figured that out. I have a long ways to go, but I love it. So yeah, that's mine. There we go. Thank you.